So here we go. This is Wicked. I've never read this, but as a boy, oh boy, did Frank Baum blow my mind. I think I read maybe half of his Oz books. My favorites being Marvelous Land and The Patchwork Girl. I don't think that's very rare. Anyway, Wicked, the second Wicked movie came out. My wife didn't like it. She also doesn't like the show, but she loves the book. So let me read the book just a little bit. This is Wicked by Gregory Maguire. Here's some quotes in the beginning. "'Tis very strange men should be so fond of being thought wickeder than they are." Daniel Defoe, A System of Magic. In historical events, great men, so called, are but the labels that serve to give a name to an event, and like labels, they have the least possible connection with the event itself. Every action of theirs that seems to them an act of their own free will is in historical sense not free at all, but in bondage to the whole course of previous history and predestined from all eternity. Leo Nikolaevich Tolstoy, War and Peace. Never read it. "Well," said the head, "I will give you my answer. You have no right to expect me to send you back to Kansas unless you do something for me in return. In this country, everyone must pay for everything he gets. If you wish to use my magic power to send you home again, you must do something for me first. Help me, and I will help you." "What must I do?" asked the girl. "Kill the Wicked Witch of the West," answered Oz. And that's from Oz in the first book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. I read that book when I was 6. It was the first full-on big-ass chapter book I ever read. I remember this. I was 6. It was 219 pages. It was I think these Del Rey pocket editions with covers that had been painted, I believe, in the 70s. So they were reissued in the early 90s. Here's Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. Prologue. On the yellow brick road. A mile above Oz, the witch balanced on the wind's forward edge as if she were a green fleck of the land itself, flung up and sent wheeling away by the turbulent air. White and purple summer thunderheads mounded ahead of her. Below, the yellow brick road looped back on itself like a relaxed noose. Though winter storms and the crowbars of agitators had torn up the road, still it led relentlessly to the Emerald City. The witch could see the companions trudging along, maneuvering around the buckled sections, skirting trenches, skipping when the way was clear. They seemed oblivious to their fate. But it was not up to the witch to enlighten them. She used the broom as a sort of balustrade, stepping down from the sky like one of her flying monkeys. She finished up on the topmost bough of a black willow tree. Beneath, hidden by the fronds, her prey had paused to take their rest. The witch tucked her broom under her arm. Crab-like and quiet, she scuttled down a little at a time until she was a mere 20 feet above them. Wind moved the dangling tendrils of the tree. The witch stared and listened. There were 4 of them. She could see a huge cat of some sort. A lion, was it? And a shiny woodman. The Tin Woodman was picking nits out of the lion's mane, and the lion was muttering and squirming from the aggravation. An animated scarecrow lolled nearby, blowing dandelion heads into the wind. The girl was out of sight, behind shifting curtains of the willow. "Of course, to hear them tell it, is the surviving sister who is the crazy one," said the lion. "What a witch! Psychologically warped, possessed by demons. Insane. Oh, it's not a pretty picture." "She was castrated at birth," replied the Tin Woodman calmly. "She was a hermaphrodite, or maybe entirely male." "Oh, you see castration everywhere you look," said the lion. "I'm only repeating what folks say," said the Tin Woman. I'll note that the Woodman's origin himself is analogous to castration in that the witch who cursed the regular guy, Nick Chopper, to cut off parts of his arm every day. I think he was trying to woo the apprentice or the girl servant of the witch. Anyway, we'll continue. "Everyone is entitled to an opinion," said the lion airily. "She was deprived of mother's love, is how I've heard it. She was an abused child. She was addicted to medicine for her skin condition." "She has been unlucky in love," said the Tin Woodman, "like the rest of us." The Tin Woodman paused and placed his hands on the center of his chest as if in grief. "She's a woman who prefers the company of other women," said the Scarecrow, sitting up. "She's the spurned lover of a married man." "She is a married man." The witch was so stunned that she nearly lost her grip on the branch. The last thing she ever cared for was gossip. Yet she had been out of touch for so long that she was astonished at the vigorous opinions of these random nobodies. She's a despot, a dangerous tyrant, said the lion with conviction. The Tin Woodman pulled harder than necessary on the lock of his mane. Everyone's dangerous to you, you craven thing. I hear she's a champion of home rule for the so-called Winkies. Whoever she is, she must surely be grieving the death of her sister, said the child in a somber voice, too rich, too sincere for one so young. The witch's skin crawled. Don't go feeling sympathetic now. I simply can't, said the Tin Woodman stiffly, a bit cynically. But Dorothy's right, said the Scarecrow. No one is exempt from grief. The witch was deeply irked by her patronizing speculations. She moved around the trunk of the tree, stretching to catch a glimpse of the child. The wind was picking up, and the Scarecrow skivered. The Tin Woodman continued fussing over the lion's tresses. He leaned against the lion, who held him tenderly. Storm, storm on the horizon, said the Scarecrow. Miles off, thunder echoed. There is a witch on the horizon, said the Tin Woodman, tickling the lion. The lion got spooked and rolled on top of the Scarecrow, whimpering, and the Tin Woodman collapsed on them both. Good friends, should we be weary of that storm? Said the girl. The rising winds moved the curtain of greenery at last, and the witch caught sight of the girl. She was sitting with her feet tucked underneath and her arms wrapped around her knees. She was not a dainty thing, but a good-sized farm girl dressed in blue and white checks and a pinafore. In her lap, a vile little dog cowered and whined. The storm makes you skittish. It's natural after what you've been through, said the Tin Woodman. Relax. The witch's fingers dug into the bark of the tree. She still could not see the girl's face, just her strong forearms and the crown of her head where her dark hair was pulled back into pigtails. Was she to be taken seriously, or was she merely a blown away dandelion seed caught on the wrong side of the wind? If she could see the girl's face, the witch felt she might know. But as the witch craned outward from the trunk, the girl at the same time twisted her face, turning away. That storm is coming closer and in a hurry. The feeling in her voice rose as the wind rose. She had a throaty vehemence, like someone arguing with her through the throat of impending tears. I know storms. I know how they come upon you. We're safer here, said the Tin Woman. Certainly we are not, answered the girl, because this tree is the highest point around, and if lightning is to strike, it will strike here. She clutched her dog. Didn't we see a shed further up the road? Come, come, Scarecrow. If there's lightning, you'll burn the fastest. Come on. She was up and running in an ungainly way, and her companions followed in a mounting panic. As the first hard drops of rain fell, the witch caught sight not of the girl's face, but of her shoes, her sister's shoes. They sparkled even in the darkening afternoon. They sparkled like yellow diamonds and embers of blood and thorny stars. If she had seen the shoes first, the witch never would have been able to listen to the girl or her friends. But the girl's legs had been tucked under the skirt. Now the witch was reminded of her need. The shoes should be hers. Hadn't she endured enough? Hadn't she earned them? The witch would fall on the girl from the sky and wrestle those shoes off her impertinent feet if only she could. But the storm from which the companions raced farther and faster along the yellow brick road troubled the witch more than it did the girl who had gone through rain and the scarecrow whom lightning could burn. The witch could not venture out of such a vicious, insinuating wetness. Instead, she had to tuck herself between the exposed root of the black willow tree where no water could endanger her and wait for the storm to pass. She would emerge, as she always had, punishing the, the she would emerge, she always had before. The punishing political climate at Oz had beat her down, dried her up, tossed her away like a seedling she had drifted, apparently too desiccated ever to take root. But surely the curse was on the land of Oz, not on her. Though Oz had given her a twisted life, hadn't it making her capable? No matter that the companions had hurried away, the witch could wait. They would meet again.